And I think if I double this pattern, do I want to do? Like, I physically can't because I hate this. Like, I physically can't do what I kind of want to do, so this is gonna have to be a full block. The slabs will not do the pattern. And 3. Nope. And I'm out of stairs. Yeah, I really want the carpenter table. So much simpler. I just don't know how to make it, and the game won't tell me. I refuse to look it up because I am too stubborn. There we go. Like, I also have a problem of I'm very antisocial in real life, so that's not going to be wide enough. I would need to literally make that. Yeah, it needs to be at least as wide as the front. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide. Be 21. 28. I'll find a way to make it 29. It's like it's going to be 29 wide, which is pretty decent. Also, I just realized, do I have the... No, I don't have the crafting turned on, but I do have the resource pack turned on. Okay. Maybe it'll help if I have the actual footprint of the building, which requires lots of basalt. Seven. Actually going to come in some right here. This is 8. I refuse to have an 8. See, that's not going to work either because it's going to be an even number on the outside now. We don't like that. Definitely don't like that. Figure it out. $2,000 a month or no? Yeah. Huh. The full-time for federal definition is 32 hours averaged over a month. So if you could work 40 hours, 40 hours, 40 hours, and then 10 hours, and you would average about 30 hours a week somehow. We used to do that crap at the grocery store, which annoyed me because it really took advantage of the employees. I think this would look better pushed in by 1. There. Yeah. Well, 2 technically. Because once you hit that full-time threshold, by law, they have to offer you benefits. At the very least, health insurance. I almost wish I was there. I really almost wish that's how I was. Because I feel like I'm too comfortable that I haven't been forced yet to do something I don't want to do. which is give up on this godforsaken shithole I live in. Like, the entire property is garbage and really should be, like, completely bulldozed and razed to the ground. Like, I fully believe I would be better off, selling everything I own, packing up, and moving. Because, I mean, I can babysit a hotel in any city, anywhere. My job is not region specific. Like, the main thing holding me back from moving, honestly, this piece of property has been in my family for 3 generations now. And it's, never seen a day's maintenance in all that time. We don't wash the pillows, we wash the pillow cases. And then we just buy new pillows periodically. Like, unless there's an actual stain on the physical pillow, what they'll do is they take the pillows and they run them through the dryer. The dryer heats up enough to sterilize them, so they don't actually need to be washed. Also uses less water that way. The dryer is huge. It's as big as it's about half the size of my entire house. It is massive. I think I don't wanna pull this out because I don't actually, I don't wanna pull it. I do wanna push it back some. Okay, I'm getting messed up because this wall is not gonna be here. It's actually gonna be further back than I thought. So there'll be one wide gap here with a layer of this mess. Oh, up there. And I'll definitely give the specific hotel, the type of the brand that I work for, I've been told to stop mentioning. But the type of hotel that I work for is nice because I do know the other hotels around us, like their front desk clerks, especially their night audits, have to do like 50 million different jobs. I only have my job to worry about. I don't do housekeeping. I don't ever have to clean rooms. I don't have to cook breakfast except if, literally everybody else calls out. All I do is I run the front desk and I make sure everybody else gets the support they need. Like, if somebody needs help doing one of those things, I can go do that, but I'm not required. I do know some of the other hotels around, they straight up require their front desk staff to come in and wash dishes and do laundry and crap on their shifts. There's nothing else to do, and it's stupid. But I mean, we are technically the most expensive hotel in town, so. Okay. No, that is wrong. I want it actually to come out one. Go back in. Yeah, I want it out here. There we go. Like, I don't understand. my my property is paid for. My building is paid for. My main expense is actually my car, which will be paid off next year. One more winter to make, and then I will actually have money in my pocket again. But if I was trying to make a mortgage payment, I couldn't live on my income. Period. There's no place in town, no apartment, no nothing that I could live on my income and pay all my bills by myself. I would require another income. 7. And that is ridiculous. No place. I mean, if you work 40 hours a week, even minimum wage, you should at the very least be able to afford rent in an apartment. That is stupid that it is priced out of range for people. Nope, not that one. This is good. Okay. Hmm. This is too thin and that's too thick. I'm gonna have to work on this some. So in the 1,600 that they actually charge you for rent, does that include power, water, gas, cable, what have you? Is that everything, or is that literally just rent? Just rent. Oh, that's such garbage. Like, I think like the average around here is about $1,000 a month for rent. You can get some for 800. They're not great, but if you go below 800, you get into like health violation central. Like, it's really bad. This is usually a 2-bedroom apartment for about 1,000. They're pretty small. I don't know what the square footage would be. Probably more than 500. But yeah. But I mean, that's well, how much? That's at $1,000 a month without utilities. That's 5/6 of my take-home income, literally. Like, come on. I could not live on that. It wouldn't work. Like, I couldn't even afford the $800 or even the $600 rat motel. I couldn't do that. That's another reason why I cling to this piece of garbage property that I own. At least it's paid for. Like, I wish there was a way to offset this. There absolutely is. Have to wait, please. I need more than that. I need way more than that. Probably gonna need more than that. That's what I've made. Oh, yeah, SoCal is probably the most expensive place to live. That's there we go. That's what I figured you were talking about when you said, 2000. I was like, "That sounds about right." But stop and think, SoCal, an hour outside of LA. Okay, that's a major, humongous metropolitan area. So $1,600 a month for that. $1,000 a month for Podunk, Alabama, with a population of 20,000. Yeah, that makes no sense. I've never understood why housing is so expensive here. Can you place block? Block cannot be placed there. I am sad. Block does not go there. Oh, hello. Goodbye. Oh, hi. I have visitor. Uh, mhm. Hi. You can't reach me. Kind of. Unfortunately, I have no wills to collect. Like, my mama waited tables for a living. There's nothing there to leave behind. Okay. Need back up top again. Looks like that. That is the wrong place. So it's that. There. Ah. Hmm. That would do it. That's about the shape I want. There we go. Looks better on top because it's a little squished on the bottom down here. But there's no way to push this up one half of a block and it still be this shape. Cool. Now I just need to repeat the pattern. Yeah, that'll be about the right height. But I feel like this is gonna have to be a full block anyway. Bye bye, you're dead. So if it's a full block, then this is gonna be upside. Never mind. I you know, I have heard stories like that from a lot of people who like just randomly threw like $1,000 on the stock market. It almost feels like it's rigged. Like it doesn't matter what you invest in, like somehow somebody's gonna make money off of it regardless. May not be you, but somebody's gonna make money off of you. Did the exact same thing. Mhm. Like, just from a conceptual standpoint, the stock market doesn't make any sense. Like, it defies logic. Missed. I can fix this. Give me lab. That's much better. That's so much better. Yep, I mean, that's technically illegal, but that is absolutely exactly how the stock market works. The Ponzi scheme or racketeering. Racketeering circle, there we go. Like, what word comes after that? There should have been a word there. That way. I don't know if that'll stay. It's like health insurance. All health insurance really is effectively mafia. Like, you're paying them in the hopes that nothing happens, because even if something happens, they don't pay out. You still have to pay them. I mean, they make money if nothing happens. They make money if something does happen. Like, doesn't seem very fair. That's not at all where I wanted either of these. This is like that. Like that. There we go. Like, I pay, what is it? About a fifth of my paycheck for health insurance that I can't even use. And the only reason that I can justify spending anything at all on health insurance is on the off chance I get into a car accident or something and end up in a hospital for more than 2 or 3 days. Yeah, you're looking at a $30,000 bill right there. At least the insurance will actually cover that. I still end up paying about $8,000 for the copay, which, I would never pay off in my lifetime because of interest rates. Oh, yeah, that's correct. But it's better than 180,000. And like I said, that is all health insurance is. That's all the entire health industry is, praying you don't get sick, because then you go broke and have to bankrupt. But you can't even bankrupt on medical bills anymore. Ridiculous. There we go. Okay. One of these pillars is gonna have to stay, because I'm gonna have to go back up there to get the rest of it. Why? I literally just took down the pillar I was gonna have to use. Whatever. I think it works. Now, do I want the top to be... Oh. That's a shape that's not gonna happen in Minecraft. I'm looking at an image for, uh, Gothic buildings. I'm sort of going by that, and this little tower actually tapers in. I mean, I can attempt it. I actually can attempt it. I have an idea. I don't think it's gonna work. Also, don't think I'm gonna finish this today. But I like the shape. I like the shape. So then this is gonna come back. 5 feels like a good number. How big do I want the inside of this to be? That's the question. That feels good. What's that? 2 blocks on that side? Literally right there. Okay, so this is the new floor. You know, technically, you're basically mummified anyway when they remove all the fluids from your body for showing. I know somebody who refused to pay for that one time, and let's just say that ended up being closed casket. Because it doesn't take very long, like a couple of days before your body really starts to look worse for wear. Happened to my grandmother actually, because they weren't planning on doing a viewing for her. They were just going to cremate her. They let her daughters go in to see her, my mother and aunt, to go in and see her before they cremated her. And because she wasn't preserved, uh, I'm told she did not look very good. But yeah. I'm like, I'm glad I didn't go back there. This is not how I want to remember my family. So yeah, mummification. Sounds good. Go for it. Like I kind of want to do a Viking funeral. Put me on a little boat, build a pyre on the boat with me, send me out into the ocean, and set me on fire. Which is hilarious because I absolutely hate the water. Can't stand open water. Nah, basically my standing orders for my family, if something stupid were to happen and I were to go without a will or anything, my standing orders are basically whatever's cheapest. I'm good with that. Like if you want to put me in an urn and put me on the mantle next to my dad, sure, go for it. This is good depth. I like that. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 back. Because that makes an odd number there, so it's going to be... This is even with it, so... Oh, what do you know? Yeah. But I told you this looked like a good distance. Just nailed it. Dune beetle? Oh, cool. I bet its carapace actually preserves pretty well. Like, that's a bit different than taxidermy, I assume. Okay, so then this is going to come out quite a bit. Seven. I mean, I can break up this even number by doing that. And just having pillars on the outside. Hmm. How do I keep ending up with 1, 2, 3, 5, 9? Okay, so this will be 7 on the inside and 8 on the outside. I hate that it's an even number on the outside. We'll live with it. Nothing wrong with that. Ancient Egypt is a interesting culture for sure. And I was going to be able to think, here, I am not going to have room for that unless I move this entire thing forward about here. Oh no. I refuse to rebuild this thing. No. No. Resist the urge. Never going to happen. Building it here. This was going to be an open platform for trees and logs. And I was effectively going to make this into wood storage. It would have ended up being pure cosmetic because I'm going to make a massive storage system underneath the cemetery. And I'm just going to store wood there. Down here. Basically, I'm going to have chests in the walls. Nice, lovely mausoleum tomb with a bunch of chests. Oh goodness, yeah. They were the God King, that's for sure. It's effectively what our system has set up nowadays. Like, there's never been a point in here period in history where wealth inequality was as bad as it is today. The main difference is that, like, the low income earners, the peons, the actual grunts of the world that make things work, while they're not technically slaves, anybody working for an hourly wage is a wage slave. While they're not technically legally slaves, you do have some protections. Very little, but some. I mean, so at the very least, your life is still nowhere near as cruel as it was for the poor in the past. But in terms of actual ability to influence your own environment and surroundings, yeah, our poor are absolutely screwed. Like, I have to choose between flea medicine for my cats or eating a cheeseburger. I mean, that's where I'm at. I had that conversation the other day with somebody who works for tips for a living, and they said very specifically that with tips, they make much more than minimum wage. Granted, they work for a high-end restaurant, so they have big spenders, basically. But, my rebuttal to that was, I worked Waffle House Christmas Day in 2009, 2010. Been a while. but I worked Christmas Day in a Waffle House as a dishwasher. And for 7 hours of work, I made more money than any of the waitresses. Yeah, it was stupid. Like, really stupid. Like, I worked that specifically because my mother and sister were both working there at the same time, and they were both working Christmas Day because they got time and a half for it. So they ended up working like $6 an hour hourly plus tips. I still made more money than them as a dishwasher. And yeah, I agree that tipping can never be counted on because you're always going to have jerks. Like, I'm stingy with tips for the actual amount simply because I don't have a lot to give. But if I receive very, very bad service, I will not leave a sizable tip at all. I know people who will tip well regardless. More power to you. But even if I could afford really good tips, if I get really crappy service, I'm sorry. You're phoning it in, I ain't supporting that. Like, get out of here. Basalt. Bloop. And I say that as someone whose mother worked as a waitress for 35 years. You know, I know how important those tips are to those people. But, you know, my mom busted her butt at those jobs. She never once phoned it in. Well, maybe towards the end, but she worked for her tips and earned them. Guess what I'm saying is the wonderful lazy people that we have these days that I run into that just sort of expect to show up and get paid. That is in every job. I cannot abide that. I can't stand it. Like, come on. You are paid to do a job, to perform a service. I don't care how menial, trivial, or garbage it is, or how bull the environment is, or how stupid your manager is. You're paid to do a job. Do it. Okay. The floor is going to be the slabs, so I need to bust out of here. Go get some slabs. And if I'm a customer, a paying customer somewhere, I expect to be treated as such. You know, I expect to receive good customer service. Oh, why? Well, you know, why not? There we go. Me slabs. More slabs. That's not the right one. My job at the hotel is literally customer service. Like, the number of times I've seen even my coworkers, they'll be doing something and somebody will walk up and like they'll be wiping a table down or something, and whatever. Not that I can ever get them to actually do that, but they'll be doing something, and a guest will walk up and they'll say, "Hang on a minute, I'll be done just a second." No, no, you won't. The person paying for you to be employed is standing right there. You drop what you're doing and you go see what they need immediately. Like, as long as, leaving a wet rag on a table is not a health hazard or going to cause somebody to slip and fall to their death, leave it where it is and go take care of them. Like, I've always been trained to do that in all customer service positions. Like, you never leave somebody standing waiting on you. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. For like server positions, even my job, If somebody comes up to me with a massive attitude, and it's pretty easy to tell. Like, very few people develop an attitude with me mid-conversation. I find the problem the problem customers almost always walk up to you with that attitude already. Like, "Hey, this was wrong. What are you gonna do about it?" "Okay, well, I can do this, this, and this." "That's not enough." "Okay, cool. What do you want me to do about it?" "Well, I want you to do all these unreasonable things and give me my money back and basically pay me to have stayed here." "Yeah, that's not gonna happen, but I can't tell you that. So here's my manager's number. Call back when they're here and don't come complaining at 2 o'clock in the morning." And I keep telling all the girls on the front counter, they all seem to have this problem where we have a lot of business guests, a lot of business people that ride through. They do have a certain attitude about them, superiority complex, and they will come through with our female clerks and act like they're like literally just eye candy. Like, no, they're paid to do a job. And their job, while it is to keep you happy, it is not to sit and chat with you and smile for you for 2 hours on end. I tell all of them, it's like, I'm not a manager. I can't authorize you to do this, but if you're ever uncomfortable with a guest, absolutely tell them, hey, I need to get back to what I'm paid to do. Yeah. And also, here is the number to call my manager and leave me the hell alone. And I'm the same way with fast food. If you're waiting tables and somebody is screaming at you, you don't have to put up with that. You're gonna lose a tip. You're not gonna get a tip in the first place. If they're already screaming, they're not gonna leave it. Like, you can't salvage that. Escalate it. Give it to your manager. And if your manager refuses to deal with it and tells you to deal with it, you got a bad manager. You need to go somewhere else. Because that is literally what they're getting paid to do. We had an incident with guests having things stolen out of their vehicles at night on my shifts, while I'm there. And my manager's first instinct was to tell me to walk the parking lot. And I'm like, do I have a bulletproof vest? Am I armed? Am I allowed to bring a firearm with me to work now? Because that's the only way I would ever even attempt that. And you'd have to pay me a whole lot more. Like, I'm sorry, but my health and well-being, sanity, and, not having bullet holedness in me is worth more than you're paying me. So, no, I will not be walking the parking lot at 2 a.m. in the dark with no other employees in the building. Not gonna happen. Eventually, they had to break down and pay somebody to come out and run actual security. Guess what that cost? A lot more than I was getting paid. Because I had to hand them the checks. Oh, that's gonna send me way over here. Yeah, whatever. I don't begrudge the man making more money than me for that job. That job is, like I said, I wouldn't. I mean, it's a Yeti cooler, which I understand. They're expensive, and it's annoying, but you left it in the back of a pickup truck, unattended, at night. Like, we're not in a particularly seedy part of town, but there are a whole bunch of broke people these days that will do some things they didn't think they'd ever do for money. And a $70 cooler just sitting there doing nothing with nobody around, that ain't gonna last. I can tell you that right now. It's just gone. And I'm not allowed to say out loud to the guest's face, "You're an idiot." But these men were idiots. Oh, yeah, I mean, like, they're supposed to take pictures, I think now, aren't they? Of, to confirm their deliveries? Okay, there's not supposed to be a gap there. So maybe I can do what I was thinking about doing here, just a staircase here, followed by the trapdoors, and then trapdoors right there, just sort of, maybe. Unfortunately, the only way to combat that is to have a camera on your front porch, which is mildly expensive. Wow, that actually corners really well. Like a lot of logs, there'll be a pretty hard line right here. Cool, that's not what I wanted to do there, but that's cool to know. I need to get back up top, which means more dirt pillars. Yay! Uh, hello? Dump truck? I thought you already ran today. The dump truck, the trash cans were already in the road, so I thought you'd already ran. There's another very unforgiving and thankless job. Oh, I don't even have all of the trapdoors in place. I should have some right here. My county, not the city, the county actually had a town hall meeting where people voiced their concerns about various things. One of the main things that they had is our current and only option for trash pickup in the entire county. Uh, their drivers were just flinging trash cans. Yeah, trap door, and then come on the inside trap door, followed by falling off. So we held a referendum, and the county promised to get on to them and tell them to stop doing it and be nicer. And the company got back to the council with a nice letter that got published on their website and said, "Oh, we're real sorry that you're unhappy, but time constraints, money, blah 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 blah. Our truck drivers have so much time, blah 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 blah. Basically, you can expect the same crappy service from us because we have a monopoly and there's nothing you can do about it." That's what the letter basically said. I mean, that's reality nowadays. I mean, did you watch or hear anything about the presidential debates last night? That is the reality we live in, is that the actual news for the day reads like a soap opera. It's that bad. And then this does not matter because you will never see it. This is gonna pop out. And it's that bad everywhere. Like, oh, my shovel broke, right. Uh something my sister said the other day about people were being more jerk than usual. And I keep telling her, the jerks have always been there. They just now no longer have an excuse to hide it. Yeah, I really need to go back and watch it, the recordings of it, because I feel like it would be hilarious to watch. Like, I'm sorry, but, it's just funny to me that that's basically where we're at in the world. It's not us, it's the entire world. We just happen to be shining examples of how bad it's gotten. But yeah, I told her point blank, it's like, "The jerks have always been there, not suddenly becoming jerks. They've always been jerks. The difference being that they had to be civil to survive, and nowadays, they don't. They are allowed to thrive without making the effort of appearing to care." Okay? Yep, yep. Now I want that on both sides, I think, up there? Also, I noticed I lost a trap door. I don't know where it went. Kinda need it back, 'cause I need it's exactly how it's all the way down. Of course it is. Of course it is. And I mean, it feels like as a sociologist, I have to say, it does feel like a natural progressive backlash to the way things were going. Like, there was a lot of disenfranchised groups that have made massive progress. Like, they may not feel like they've come all the way, and they certainly haven't, but they have made massive progress in the last few decades. Groups that otherwise would have been, you know, openly bullied at the very least, but certainly, you'd think, more abusive than you would think nowadays. There we go, words. I need to be on the outside. Free me. Whee! And, like, liberty's fine and all. Freedom and liberty are great. There is only so much freedom and liberty to go around. And to give something to one group is, by definition, to take something from another. Like, equality, like, the very idea of equality is not equal for the people that you're forcing it on. It's equal for their descendants, certainly, because they started out on equal, but you're gonna have to take something from somebody, and they're not gonna like that. Ah, torch spam. And what we're seeing these days is the backlash of what's happened recent decades. I don't think this is gonna go away anytime soon. I think things are probably gonna get a lot worse before they ever stand a chance of getting any better at all. And then come back out and, you know, that might stay like that. It's actually this transition here I don't like. It's a bit sharp. I've had a few. Like, I mean, I like that we've decided that Karen is the euphemism. Probably offend pretty much 90. Yeah. I mean, I sort of grew up with a lot of, Monty Python-esque comedy. It was it's mostly class warfare comedy, but it is effectively picking on a group of people. It's bullying itself. It just happens to be bullying the people in charge, so they get away with it. And, like, a lot of the a lot of the toilet humor that was present would not really be acceptable these days because it's at the expense of minorities most often. Like, I don't really like that, and I don't know how else to transition that. Hmm. But yeah, the Karen thing. Like, I've had a few people, and I don't know if it's because they have a chip on their shoulder or what, but twice in my lifetime, I've had people that obviously had to be out of state. They couldn't possibly make it living here. But they came up to me and just immediately decided that it's Alabama, I'm a white boy, I must be racist. Now, the real kick in the pants is these are white people. Straight up. The only time I've ever been accused of being racist was by white people. And the first guy, without getting my side of the story in the slightest, assumed that I had turned away a potential customer because he was black. And he come up to the front of the store. I'd locked the door, and I'd locked it like 5 minutes before. And he come up to the front of the door and asked if he could retrieve something. That's how he snuck this by. I got the words "sure, but only if" out. That's as far as I got before he jumped all over me. And I was like, well, if you'd let me finish my sentence, I was gonna say, only if you tell me what it was, and I will go get it and bring it to you. I wasn't gonna let you in the building. I didn't get to explain that part. He just went off on a rant. At which point, I just closed the door in his face and locked it. And like, okay, whatever. I need trapdoor. And then the second time, I had a lady at the hotel where I'm working now. She checked in. I checked her in and did all of her paperwork and set her up and sent her up to her room. And 3 days later, we get a customer satisfaction feedback survey from her explaining how I was so horribly racist that she felt almost endangered in my presence because she has a dark-skinned husband. Mind you, he came in the side entrance. I never saw him. Never dealt with him. Didn't know he existed. And this is literally what my manager responded with. Like, well, we went back on the security cameras and he never came by the front desk. Oh, like, I don't even know where that came from. Like, did they get really bad housekeeping service or something and they decided they were just going to slam the entire hotel, starting with me? That one continues to baffle me today. I don't know where that came from. Oh yeah, I wanted it. There we go. Oh, I can't do that. Right. This isn't going to work. I'm not going to be able to do this. I don't have the patience or the brain power to figure this out. So this is just going to be a solid wall. It's going to be a square box instead of a somewhat rounded box. Or slanted box, whatever. There we go. Oh, that would have probably been bad. Yeah. Then I need this there. I was afraid that would happen. But I actually get that a lot. Where people and it's the symptom of where I live, straight up. Like, people from out of town will come in, and they'll just automatically assume things about me because of where I'm living. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, well, give me an opportunity to prove that wrong, you don't mind." No. Like, I always try to peddle the now long forgotten Southern hospitality stereotype stereotype words. Yeah. I used to be an